Today I'm going to be learning about Sweden, in particular Swedish culture, by watching this video, 13 things that shocked me about Sweden, Swedish culture shocks. I have watched some videos like this before, always enjoy them. It's like interesting for me to get like a foreigner's perspective living in Sweden, what they find interesting about it. Being a foreigner myself in a different country, being British, living in Malaysia, having lived in different Asian countries, having experienced a lot of culture shocks myself. I like to see what other people think about other countries, so let's watch this one.
Okay, look how many toothpaste flavors they have.
Toothpaste.
So hello.
Yeah, tell me your favourite flavour of this. Yeah, that is a lot of different ones. That just shows the popularity of this type of food as well. I've said before, I wouldn't mind this sort of thing. I'd quite like to eat that. How would you usually eat? Is it a sandwich, on crackers, on biscuits? How and what's your favourite flavour? And is that cheap or expensive?
So hello, if you're new here, it has been 1 month since I've been living in Sweden. I'm originally from Canada and I am playing professional soccer. Fudge. I'm playing professional football here in Sweden. For
That's
context,
correct.
I've
Football.
been to Europe in the past, but this is my first time living here in Europe. And I think now that I've been here in Sweden for a month, I think I'm qualified to talk about a little bit about things that have been different coming from Canada all the way to here. Also for context, I've been in the US for 5 years playing college soccer there, so I was in Pittsburgh. Let me tell you, I've been loving my experience so far, but there are some things where I was like, this is really cool, or this is kind of unique. In general, you get a different culture shock when you actually live in a new place instead of just visiting or traveling. So I'm gonna be talking about 13 things that I have found unexpected here living in Sweden. So let's start with the first one. So the first one on the list is single-use stalls. I feel like there have been single-use stalls everywhere. So you have private room for yourself to use the washroom. Maybe it's also because of the area and the places I go to, but I haven't seen one stall that looks like an American bathroom stall or a Canadian bathroom stall. Even yesterday when I went to the Växjö Lakers game, the hockey team here, there was single-use stalls in the arena. It's cool that there's no awkward gaps between, can someone see me? Like you just have a full room to yourself. It's like a little mini hotel room. Something that I also found different.
Yeah, that is quite an interesting thing to pick up on because I've never really considered that. Here in Malaysia, they do have a lot of these like single room toilets. When I hear about people in America talk about the bathrooms there, it is like a lot of gaps on the top, the bottom, like even sometimes between the doors and things like that. So yeah, I guess it just gives more security, more privacy. These ones in Sweden, maybe even a bit more comfort, you could say. Is that more common in Sweden, do you think?
Something that I also found different was that in public bathrooms, so far I've seen that you have to pay sometimes. So here are the bathrooms in the library, and I didn't have any money. Here's another public single-use.
Yeah, how common is that as well? That's something that happens sometimes in the UK. I've not really experienced it so much in Asia, having to pay to use the bathroom. I guess it's sometimes for the upkeep in private properties so they can like keep it in good condition and so on. There is one here in Malaysia in one of the malls, but it's actually more like it's like a premium level on one of the malls, and you get a very high class bathroom compared to the other floors on the mall. But yeah, how often do you have to pay to use the bathroom in Sweden?
Here's another public single-use bathroom, and I didn't know you have to basically pay to pee. Here, bike paths and sidewalks are basically on the same type of road. They're kind of right next to each other. They are actually right next to each other. In Canada, there are bike paths, but they're mostly like on the street, and sometimes they're like separated with road dividers. But here, it's so easy to get from one place to the other by bike. Like the bike paths, I feel super safe on them. Except I feel like I almost got hit when I was walking because I didn't know you're supposed to go on like the right side if you're a pedestrian and the left side if you're a biker. So I was like just walking like there's nothing. And then people were like zooming past me on the bike. Oh, that was one of my first culture shocks.
Yeah, that one as well. Most of the places I've been, the cycling lane is on the actual road itself, the main road. There's like a coloured strip. here in Malaysia got that. I just back from Japan, they had that as well. I've never really seen it when it's on the pavement. I guess this is to save space for the roads. It's also maybe like the walkways, the pavements used to be just for walking. Maybe they just changed it. Is that certain cities in Sweden? Is it everywhere? Have you ever seen any accidents? People getting like crashed into on their bikes walking along there? I would maybe not expect it. I guess Swedish people would be competent cyclists, so it wouldn't happen. But you never know, being so close to people walking.
So here's the can opener. I've been struggling with this. So I tried this out last week and I, for the life of me, had the hardest time. So let's try one more time. All I want
That was
is
kind of dangerous.
Okay? All I want is some tuna.
Okay. That kind of makes sense, actually.
Is it like this? Okay. I feel like it's not like this. Like, I feel like I'm getting metal in it.
Seems like a lot of hard work. In the UK, we have those ones you just clip it to the top and
is a
spin it like that. Seems a bit easier.
It's kind of like DIY store scanners. So what you do, you go in the grocery store, you get one of these scanners, and there's so many of them. You get one of them. Basically, you carry around this scanner when you grocery shop. So let's say I'm like, oh, I want to get this loaf of bread. So you scan the loaf of bread, and then you place it directly in your bag in your grocery cart, and then it keeps like a running list of the things you have. And then when you're done, you just pay on the scanner and you can just walk out and leave. I think one of my first questions I asked was, don't people steal? Like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't condone stealing, but that was just a question I had.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because actually they implemented that system maybe like 20 years ago in the UK. One of the supermarkets like spent a lot of money upgrading their system to implement this. And then, yeah, I think people just stole too much. You just can't trust British people. I guess Swedish people are more like just law-abiding and just normal people compared to British people. You don't really see that system anywhere, I don't think, in the UK, but I know it's quite common in Europe, like Germany. Netherlands has this system. Maybe Europeans are just more respectable people than British and Americans.
Apparently there are people that can randomly check you to see if you have everything or if you added some things. So that's my ethical question of the day.
Yeah, how often do you use that? Does everybody have that? I've seen that mentioned on a video
these
before.
Things are everywhere. This is called a shoehorn. Now I feel like I can't put
That is
my
a
shoes
big
on
one,
without
huh?
it. I think my grandma has one of these, and I remember like I didn't know how to use it, but here it's everywhere. Everyone uses these things.
It's also a good weapon for fighting off intruders.
So there are some things I can't find in Sweden. So let me tell you, I wanted to make pancakes one morning, and I was like, let me just go to the grocery store, get what I need. So I was looking for cooking spray. I was looking for vanilla extract. I know in the US I would get some like sugar-free maple syrup. In Sweden, I could barely find cooking spray. I found this rapeseed oil spray with vanilla extract. Either like I couldn't find like the little bottles. There was actual vanilla extract like on the bean, like on the little stick. So that was cool actually. There's not a lot of no sugar food items I've seen before, but there's not a lot of it because the things in cooking sprays, probably the things in vanilla extract and the ingredients in no sugar syrups and stuff like that are probably not good for you. So it's kind of a good thing. Actually, it's very much a good thing that I can't find those things, because that means that they were probably really bad for me when I was consuming them in the US and in Canada. So now for a
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah, with these like no sugar drinks and foods. That's why I never really buy things like that. Not that I really care too much about what I eat and drink. I just like to enjoy my food and drink, so I'll just eat whatever. But these non-sugar ones generally have like some artificial sweeteners and things that are probably just not as good for you, that are just not sugar. They got to replace that sweetness and taste somehow. And obviously in America they don't have as high food standards as we do have in Europe as well.
quick segment of things I can find in Sweden. So we have chocolate ball protein shakes, kebab
Kebab
pizza. I've
pizza,
heard
man.
this is very
Yes.
popular in Sweden.
Whoa.
I have to try it one day. But there are also some things I've never seen before, like blood pudding. I
Is that
heard it's
like
also
black
called
pudding?
black
Oh, yeah,
pudding.
yeah.
Could
I
be
love
served
that,
with
man.
some jam.
Fry that for
And apparently this is
breakfast.
some Norwegian rice porridge I've never seen before.
Tell me if you like
Here,
blood
everyone
pudding.
bikes
I
everywhere.
love it.
I see bikes all over the place. Here in Sweden, a lot of people lock the bike frames. I was walking home and my teammate stopped me and she's like, I'm going to this thrift store, do you want to come with? And I was like, yeah, sure. She was on her bike and I thought she honestly just left her bike in front of the thrift store because I was like, you didn't lock it against a solid pole or something like that? And she was like, no, like people here lock the frame, like it's normal. Prior to coming to Sweden, I haven't seen people lock their bike frame only instead of attaching it to like a stable surface or like a pole or something like that. But yeah, that was something that was kind of interesting. I remember I wanted to go to the grocery store maybe at 8 p.m. Obviously, Ica Maxi is open at 8 p.m. I want to go to Lidl
What's Ica
right
Maxi?
here. It closes at 7 or something
Is
like
that
that. I feel like back home,
supermarket I
a
watched
lot of
before,
places
actually?
close really late. So that's one thing that's different. And also here, like thrift stores, not all of them are open all the time. There's like specific hours for them. And on Sundays, there's a lot of things that are closed. I was trying to go to a bakery. I couldn't find one. Turns out there were some that were open. I just didn't know where to go. But a lot of them close on Sundays. Maybe that's common. Maybe I just haven't gone to many bakeries.
That's one thing a lot of people tell me when I'm here, like people who I know from here in Malaysia or Asia, when they travel to Europe. I think one of the things that shocks them the most is how places close so early, how things just don't open on certain days. Like here, for instance, here in Malaysia, things are always open. The malls are open till 10 p.m. There's a lot of eateries and things that are open 24/7. There's always something going on somewhere here, but when you go back to Europe, you definitely notice that things are just generally quieter at night and sometimes at the weekend and so on.
A lot of people here give me hope, okay? Because there's a lot of roundabouts, a lot of cars, but also a lot of bikes, and I haven't had a situation here yet where the car like kind of cuts me off as a pedestrian or as a biker. So everyone here is super, super nice. I'm staying cautious still. I'm not just like walking anywhere, but everyone here is very, very nice about, okay, we see a pedestrian. Even if I look like I'm about to cross, they stop. But I feel like in my experience elsewhere, it's been kind of like a hit or miss. Wait, no, not meaning like they hit, no, not meaning like they hit or missed me. I meant like, it's a 50-50 chance if they'll stop. Okay, here I feel very, very safe. So thank you, Sweden.
Quark.
So you may remember this clip of me accidentally buying quark the first time I went to the grocery store here, so.
I think it's Greek yogurt. Is it Greek yogurt?
I've been eating this every single day. This was the best mistake, the best accident of my life, okay? It's not exactly yogurt. I know in the video I talk about how it's basically yogurt. No, it's not exactly yogurt. It's not like exactly cottage cheese. I feel like it's a mix of both. Very, very high protein. I feel like it's really good for you. But here in Sweden, it's everywhere. Anyways, I love kvari. It has been a life changer. It is awesome. Love it so much. So versatile. I think it tastes great. What the heck? Something that's been really different is that at 4 p.m. it gets dark. That's been really hard because I feel like my body's like, oh, I'm ready to go to bed. But no, it's actually 4 p.m. It's time to eat dinner. So the sun rises around 8:30 right now. It sets around 4 p.m. in the winter. And also the weather around here has been kind of gray. So that's been something that I didn't really expect too much. But apparently in the summer, the sun comes out a lot. Solen skiner. I love that phrase. Apparently, the sun comes out at like 3 a.m. in the summer and sets at like 10 p.m. So I'll have to see it for myself when the summer comes around. There's also like a celebration called Midsummer, and it's the longest day of the year where the sun is out for the longest time. There's a lot of dancing, there's a lot of flower crowns. So it's basically like transitioning from the permanent darkness in the winter to let's party in the sun all night, basically. Sounds like Sweden goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
Alright, so I'm at a bakery just doing my monthly review. So every month I review the month prior, like what I did well, what I should improve on, and stuff like that. So I have a new tradition that I'm gonna try a new bakery every month, and I'm gonna try a new pastry every month. You know
That
how in Sweden
cake
there
looks
is
so
fika, which is a sweet treat, and coffee? Well, apparently there's also like pastry season. So now it is like the end of January going into February, and the pastry that's good to get now is a semla. So this is a semla. It looks really good. So I'm gonna try it for the first time now. Okay, so a semla is a cardamom flavored wheat bun, and on the inside there's whipped cream with almond paste, I think. And a lot of people were telling me to try it, so let's do it. Are you supposed to cut it? Like, I don't know. This is pretty big. Like, how do you eat this? There we go. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna finish it all. Like, are you supposed to eat this with your hands? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Cheers. Wow. That's actually pretty good. It's kind of dangerous. That's kind of dangerous. You taste a bit of the
cream,
almond.
man.
The whipped
That
cream is
just
not
works.
too thick. It looks thick, but it's not too thick like when you actually eat it. Like, it kind of melts in your mouth. So something I didn't expect from
need
Sweden
that.
is that there's so many different days for pastries. A carrot cake day, which I think is February 3rd or something.
Really?
There's like a cinnamon bun day. I thought that was pretty funny actually, that there's like a, oh my gosh, today's a cinnamon bun day, so we all have to go get cinnamon buns. I'm gonna get another bite.
Okay, that one I never knew. I knew about fika, but I never knew there's days for specific pastries. I guess like in the UK we actually have like a day called Pancake Tuesday. I think it's near Easter. I don't know why or how it came to be. If anybody knows that, you can tell me why. But what's your favourite pastry-based day in Sweden?
Cheers.
Or month?
I like it. I'm also glad that I got one before, I don't know if they run out. Do they run out? Probably. Someone told me that like after February, they don't basically sell them as much as they do now. Or I don't know if they sell them even at all. So I like that a lot. That's good. That is good.
Hi everyone, just got back from training, okay? And I stopped by the grocery store to try some food tubes. So this is the original one that I've heard that people like to eat a lot. You can have like food tubes that have like cheese in them, caviar.
Nice.
This is creamed cod roe. I don't know. So this is basically fish in a tube, okay? Yeah, I don't know if I'm excited. I don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna try it. One of my teammates, she says she eats this like every morning with eggs and bread, like hard-boiled eggs. I have the bread. It is kind of burnt. Usually it would be like crisp bread, so knäckebröd, but I don't have any, so I just burnt my regular toast to try to get crisp bread. You put this on toast and you just eat it. So that's what we're gonna try to do today. Oh. Is it supposed to be oily? Am I supposed to shake it? Ooh, I don't know how I feel about this. It smells like cat food. I'm nervous. All right, let's try it.
Do you eat it like that or do you spread it out?
Yeah, tastes like fish. It's an acquired taste. It's a really acquired
I think
taste.
go for like
I
the
don't know if I
cheese
like it.
flavoured one
It's
maybe.
super
Would be
salty.
better.
Like, how do you come up with this? I wonder. I don't know. I'm glad I tried it, but what I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna probably give the rest to my teammate. I just can't stop smelling it. It smells like cat food. I feel bad. I don't mean to offend anyone by saying that, but it tastes super salty. Super salty. But maybe it's good with hard-boiled eggs. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get the full experience. Wow. Okay, I'm glad I tried it. I'm ready to donate this to someone. Okay, cool.
Yeah, tell me if you like that flavoured one. I guess, yeah, I would go for like the cheese one. Maybe you could put it with like some real sliced cheese as well. Or get something that mixes the flavours a little bit. For me, I like fish, but I'm not going. I don't know. Yeah, there's something about like tubed fish. Yeah, that would maybe not be as like something I would probably enjoy as well. But tell me, what's the best way to make that or use it?
Those are 13 things that I find different living here in Sweden as a Canadian. I have been loving my experience so far.
Okay, man, cool. So yeah, looks like she's having a good time. Good observations, interesting things. Seen some of them mentioned before, some not. But yeah, like seems like she's like really enjoying living in Sweden. Like who wouldn't? It's a great place. Tell me what you think about these as a Swedish person. Do you think they're interesting things that would shock people from other countries? And yeah, if there's anything else you think would be shocking, tell me in the comments. Thanks.